Okay, so back with another faulty eBay pickup, and this time it's something a little unusual, maybe something you don't see every day, and it's an original modified Xbox. And some of you are probably wondering what the hell is on the front of that thing, but this has had a X3CE mod chip installed, and the thing on the front here is the X3 control panel, which was like an aftermarket faceplate you used to be able to get for the original Xbox. I think they were released around 2005, 2006, and this basically has a few extra things to your modified Xbox. You get a screen here, a couple of USB ports, some bank select switches, and an IR sensor here. So this is quite similar to my own Xbox that I've done a few videos on in the past. This is like my homebrew version of that control panel. So I've got my screen here. I just got a Dremel and cut a section out here and fitted that in there. Got the IR sensor that houses my on-off switch and a couple of other things like the DVD remote sensor. And here is my control panel and LEDs for the activity lights and whatnot. So I built my own back in the day there, and this is like the official version here. From memory, I think this is quite expensive. That's why I ended up building my own. I think the screen was expensive enough on its own, but when you added in the price of the mod chip and the faceplate, this was quite an expensive thing to have. And they were quite rare as well, so not a lot of people tended to have them, because you had to like solder in the chip and all that kind of thing, and they weren't the easiest things to fit. The faceplate itself was quite easy to fix, but fitting the chips and everything wasn't so easy. So yeah, found this on eBay. It was meant to be faulty, but so no surprises, it wasn't. It was a user error problem. I don't think the person that sold this to me was the original owner, so they probably weren't fully aware of how to operate this. So yeah, it was going to be like a new project for me, but I managed to get it running again, but I'll show you that in just a moment. So the things, I'll quickly show you some of the features of this. So it does have a couple of USB ports here, and these are mostly just for transferring small files. From memory, these are like USB 1.0 or whatever, 1.1 is it? So the transfer speed on these things is so slow you can barely even watch like a movie. If you plugged in a USB stick with a movie, and you could barely even watch that. You've got your screen here, and this is used for displaying details about, say if you've got Xbox Media Center playing, it displays the details of the film or the resolution, the settings, all that kind of stuff on there. You can see mine's booted up there, it's just gone into screensaver mode, and it's showing like a clock. So that's what that's used for. You've just got your on-off switches here. Over here, this is slightly different to mine, where you've got all the bank select switches are big clicky buttons. You've got your Xecuter logo here, which lights up either red or blue, depending on whether you've got the mod chip enabled. That's your IR sensor there. I'm not sure if there's an actual IR sensor built into this, because I think that was like an optional add-on you could get later on. You get a protect switch, which I think was just to stop you accidentally flashing the mod chip. And these bank select switches allowed you to select which modified BIOS the Xbox booted into. So I think you had a choice of, there's 4 switches here, but I think there's about 8 combinations, maybe it was 12 separate combinations you could use to boot into any modified BIOS basically you wanted. Here you've got your HD and LAN activity lights, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, this was meant to be faulty. The guy said that when he turned it on, it came up with a 05 error, which meant that the hard drive wasn't locked, and basically that was like a security feature Microsoft implemented to stop people tampering with the files on the hard drive. It obviously didn't work, but when you turn on the retail Xbox, it checks to make sure that the hard drive is locked to a special key that's on the motherboard. If that hard drive isn't locked, then it will refuse to boot, and it will show you the 05 error message, which is what this one is currently doing. So I'll just fire it up and show you that. But yeah, I knew that, hang on, if I turn this on properly. No, there we go. yeah, so I knew that with the X3 mod chip that this has in it, it's the same as mine, so you can actually access a special menu on the chip before any of the other things in the Xbox gets a chance to boot, and hard drive locking and unlocking is one of the features of this. So I thought, well, I could easily just boot into that special menu before the console has a chance to properly boot and relock that hard drive, and then that should sort the problem. But as it turns out, it wasn't even as difficult as that, so I'll get to that in just a moment. But I've turned it on. As you can see, I've got a 05 service required error message, which basically means the hard drive is not locked, which is not a problem. But I turn this off here. The thing I noticed was these dip switches, or the bank select switches, hadn't been set up properly, so straight away I knew that the person that had this previously probably didn't have it coming onto the correct modified BIOS. So looking at mine here, if you'll be able to make that out, you can see that the dip switch is on for number 2. So all I did with this is just hit the number 2 switch, quickly turn that on, and you can see the little Xecuter logo's gone blue. The button for 02 is lit up and the protect is red. I'm not 100% sure what the protect switch is for, but yeah, there you go. The screen's come on. Zach Smith, I'm guessing, is the previous owner. Thanks, Zach. So that should change when it boots into the menu, which has... someone's got their MP3s set to play when it comes on. But there you go, it's boot into the custom menu screen there. So it works fine. The only thing that was wrong was the person that had this previously didn't know about the bank select switches here. One issue that I found with this was the drawer isn't opening. It will open if you tap it now and then, but it's basically just a sticky drawer that takes 2 seconds to fix and really isn't a big deal at all. But overall, I was really happy to get hold of this. Paid £29.99 and I buy it now, and it was like £10 postage, so £40 is an absolute steal for this thing. I did a video on this. It was one of my first videos here on YouTube, and I get tons and tons of people asking where I got the screen, where can I buy the screen, where can you get the mod chips, and all that kind of stuff. But it's really difficult to find these nowadays. I did mine back in 2005, 2006, and back then the parts were kind of expensive. They weren't produced in huge numbers, and it was only a select few outlets, like online stores, that actually sold them. Since then, they've obviously stopped making them, and I think even in some countries it was made illegal to sell the mod chips, so finding them nowadays is really difficult. So yeah, I was really happy to find this on eBay for, find it on eBay at all, but find it for £40 delivered is amazing. Really happy about that. So yeah, it was going to be a next project, but it's pretty much fixed. There wasn't anything really wrong with it. So yeah, what I'll end up doing is cleaning this up and popping some newer software on it. You can see there, I'll put like Xbox Media Center and whatnot. I think the previous owner actually has a load of games and stuff installed in this. I'll quickly check. Let's do this one-handed. Yeah, so he's just filled it up with loads and loads of games. I don't really care about that. I have all my own Xbox games anyway, but yeah, and it's got a 60GB hard drive built in as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, thought I'd do a quick video on that, just show you the latest thing I found on eBay there. I was really happy to get hold of this. I'll maybe do another video on it in the future when I get it all cleaned up and sorted out, but it's a nice little addition to the collection there. Some people, I think, quite like these control panel things. I didn't particularly like the look of it back in the day. I wasn't too keen on this part here, and I think that's one of the reasons I built my own, other than the cost. I quite like to make things look like they've been factory made. That looks kind of like it's all flush with the system. as opposed to this one where you've got the extra bulkiness of the screen sticking out the front here with the USB ports. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so thanks for watching and I'll catch you again soon.